Update. My stepdad turned my family against me. Original post. So let me start this off by saying I apologize for how long this may be. My dad passed when I was 15. Him and my mom weren't all that close by that time, so while it hit me hard, she wasn't as phased as you'd expect. I joined the military when I was 17, but in my first year out of the house, my mom remarried. I never really vibed with the guy, just had different personalities and such. He would often make snide remarks and tell me to man up about any inconvenience I'd be upset about. This led to spats between us, and I was often just as at fault as he was for these disagreements, though it never got too serious. I got medically discharged after a little under 5 years, and my mom and him said they'd be happy to have me back in the house. I told them it'd be brief, just until I got on my feet and got a job. I'd even offered to pay rent, to which they declined. About 3 days into being back home, my stepdad got alone with me, asked what he thought a fair rent would be. I was confused, but it was his house, so we came to an agreement, and I kept it from my mom, assuming he did not want her to know, as he never mentioned it around her. I never asked for anything from them, not out of spite. I just wanted to do things myself. He had a son from a previous marriage. Him and I didn't share many common interests or anything, but I never had any issues with him. I'd say we got along. The only thing is, he was given a lot from them. Paid for his schooling, paid for his car, paid for his living arrangements through college and even after. I was a little less than a year older than him, so we started college right after they married. But like I said, I didn't want or need help. But it felt lame that he'd get all that assistance and I was immediately asked for rent. But I digress. I moved out after 3 months and not long after, met a girl who I was crazy about, and we started dating. It was my first relationship, and I was over the moon the entire time, like in that early relationship haze, but it was just constant. I was very nervous to bring her home. My mom and I were very close, and I always worried she'd be very judgmental of the girl I'd bring home. My worries ended up being unwarranted though. They got along extremely well. My girlfriend does not have a family really. Long story. So my mom and stepdad became like that for her. Her and my mom hit it off extremely well, to the point they were hanging out just the two of them at times, and it made me extremely happy. My stepdad even really liked her, and I felt it brought us closer together, which isn't something I felt I wanted until we were. His dad abandoned his family growing up, and he put himself through school and got a nice high-paying job all by himself, which I had immense respect in him for. About a year in, I knew this was the girl I was going to marry. I told my mom and stepdad and they both seemed extremely happy. She was practically part of the family already. My mom then gave me her engagement ring, my dad gave her which she kept. The job I had didn't pay great, so I figured even if it wasn't the ring she'd always have, it would be a great placeholder. But when I proposed, my girlfriend told me it wasn't a placeholder, and she absolutely loved it. I was legitimately never happier in my life. We started wedding planning, and my mom and stepdad said they'd help take care of the finances. It was the first time they'd offered to help me financially, and it really meant a lot. Fast forward to about 3 months later, I got a call from my stepdad who said I needed to come over. Felt a bit ominous, but I went over there after work. When I got there, my mom, stepdad, stepbrother, and fiancé. I saw her on the couch and could tell she had been crying. I immediately thought someone had died and went to go sit next to her, when my stepdad stopped me. He started hitting me with accusations of me cheating on her for our entire relationship. I was puzzled and told everyone there I don't even text any women I'm not related to besides her. Apparently, some girl had gotten my fiancé's number and told her that we were sleeping together for over a year now, but she didn't know I was in a committed relationship. She sent her screenshots of alleged conversations and knew stuff about me that a random person wouldn't know. I, like a fool, couldn't see what was happening in front of me. I was stunned, saddened, and furious. I begged her from across the room to look at my phone and see I'd never done any of that. Her and my mother were both weeping and I started to cry. My stepdad called me every word he could think of and escorted me out of the house while telling me if he saw me on his property again, he'd call the police. I spent the next several weeks trying to contact them to no avail. Calls, texts, voicemails, every messaging app out there, nothing. After those weeks, I got a call from my stepdad who told me to stop trying to contact her and that I was never welcome in his house or around his family again. I tried to call my mother over this time to no avail as well. After about a month, all I got from anyone was a text from my mother saying how sad and disappointed she was. My mom didn't really have much family, so they always spent holidays with my stepdad's side. They all shunned me as well. I saw their Christmas pictures on Facebook with my ex-fiancé present and seemingly in good spirits, which crushed me. The only family I had that would talk to me at all was my dad's brother and his family. Despite that, even they all seemed wary of me too. The only one that I think truly believed me was my uncle. I don't think I'd have made it without him, honestly. He showed me what I'd been missing in fatherly love, and I've never been so grateful for anyone. About 6 months after it all, I moved away from the East Coast and settled out in California, needing to get away from it all. A little less than a year after I moved, I got a call from an area code from back home, which I rarely got anymore. I picked up, and it was my stepbrother, whom I promptly hung up on. He called me back and I ignored it, but it stuck with me all day. I decided that if he called back again, I'd pick up, which he did later that night. It was awkward at best. He told me my fiancée was really torn up for a long time. It took her nearly a year to even start looking again for a significant other, when I hadn't at all since it ended. A few months into her doing so, my stepdad encouraged him to ask her on a date, which he did. Things went okay for the first couple outings, but never really clicked apparently. He told my stepdad about that, and the idiot told him, "I didn't get rid of Opie for nothing. She's a great girl. You need to figure it out with her." I almost collapsed, and it was quickly replaced with anger. Apparently, he had gotten a girl who I didn't know to pose as someone I had an affair with and forged some message screenshots to have her sent to my fiancé. Stepbrother told me he'd said it to him about a month ago, and he didn't know what to do. Apparently, it bothered him enough that he couldn't just sit on the info anymore, so he told me and said he was going to tell my mom and fiancé the next day. He called me first as a courtesy, so he knew what to say to them regarding me. I told him where I was and that I'd appreciate it if they didn't immediately contact me, so I had some time to digest it all. That was last Tuesday. I just texted him and told him I was ready to talk to them if they wanted to, and that they could call me tomorrow. I really don't know what I'm gonna say, or them for that matter. I expect some tears and a good number of apologies among other things. I don't really know if I'm ready to give forgiveness or anything like that. The only person I've told so far is my uncle, who I've asked to keep it to himself. Sorry again for how long this was. My therapist just had picked the wrong week to go on vacation and I needed to vent. Now for the top advice before reading the updates. Your stepfather is a truly awful, insecure, small-minded man. Just my 2 cents, but you should always stay no contact with him. He will never be on your side. You might be able to understand why ex-fiancé believed what she did, and even forgive her, but that does not mean you should re-establish any type of relationship. That boat sailed when she didn't believe you, or give you a chance to prove your innocence. There are plenty of other women out there for you to meet, who aren't easily manipulated, or dragging the baggage of faithlessness with them. So sorry for all the pain this has caused. But as long as your stepfather is in the picture, your own life will be much happier without any of them in it. Wow, man. This sure is a lot for you to process. I'm glad everyone found out the truth now, and you have every right to take your time to rebuild the relationships that were destroyed, if that's what you want to do. I highly suggest you start therapy too, and we would love to hear from you again. Started therapy after moving last year and most definitely have benefited from it. Now for the first update. Sorry for the delay, busy day at work, and obviously a lot of other stuff on my mind. My stepbrother called me this morning and told me exactly what happened this past week. So apparently, what my stepfather said wasn't exactly what he told me. He elaborated more and said he was very careful with his words so as to not incriminate himself. Per him, heavily and very clearly implying what he did without directly saying what he did. Thing about my stepbrother is, he's much smarter than me. Instead of just walking to my mother and fiancé with that and getting into a shouting match with his dad, he took a different course that I wouldn't have thought of. He got a hold of my ex's phone and found a girl. Said it took him forever to backtrack it. He gave her a call and got her to meet him out in public. And that's where it all came to head. She was a Tinder match with my stepfather, which I think pretty clearly indicates that he had been sleeping around on my mom. That irritated me even more for obvious reasons. This girl alleges they did not sleep together. However, whether that is the truth did not matter to me. What does is my stepbrother talked to her and pulled on her heartstrings with his story and all that had happened. For the record, she clearly knew what she was doing. Maybe the time at hearing what had happened to me really shook her up, but again, it doesn't matter to me. She told him what happened. $1,000 for a phone call. That was the deal. He told her what to say and supplied the pictures of evidence. She made a call and that was that. My stepbrother asked her if she could tell my mother and ex, and even offered to pay her again for the record. She agreed to do it for free, and that happened on yesterday. My stepfather is on a business trip until Wednesday, so it was the four of them there. She came in and spilled it all to my mom and ex. Stepbrother said a tear started almost immediately from all three of them. After everything, he told them I was in California and that he'd tell them when I wanted to be contacted. This was before I texted him. A little backstory for you guys to try to understand some stuff about my mother and ex-fiancé. And this is in no way defending their actions, just to help some folks understand. My mother and I were inseparable after my dad passed. We were each other's rock. When I turned 16, I began to drink to kind of dull it all a bit. I told my mom we'd spent New Year's together the year I was 16, but ended up out with my friends drunk as all hell. I got a text from my mom who spent the night alone at home, and that was when we were never quite the same. She sent me a text about how sad she was all alone, and I felt like really bad over it. I stopped drinking that day until after everything went to hell. She's the type of person to always need someone. She can't handle being alone. I think when her and my dad's love began to fade, I filled that void. And when I was growing and ended up leaving home, my stepfather filled that void. Then my ex. As I said earlier, she doesn't have a family really. She had some real trust issues due to this, along with some really nasty past relationships. Despite this, she never would talk badly about past boyfriends, which I really admired. One was physically abusive, and I consider that an obvious exception. I, despite being debilitatingly shy, have been often told that I'm cute, especially by younger girls, meaning younger than me, not children. I never liked that title, as it's not very masculine, but got over it and learned to appreciate my boyish face and how often I would blush. My fiancé is just shy of 3 years older than me. I've always preferred older girls, had never given much time or thought to the girls who seemingly liked me because they were 18 to 20. This didn't stop the attention which upset my fiancé. She'd often ask why I wasn't interested in these girls, why I didn't leave her for someone younger and prettier, etc. I always found her extremely attractive, significantly more attractive than me honestly, and would always reiterate that to her, and that I never cared about any other girl. Okay, sorry to get off track. That again I hope brings a little insight to why I think they did what they did and believed what they believed. Again, this is not an excuse for them, nor am I really all that understanding personally. At the end of the call with my brother, he said they both wanted to call today, and I told him that'd be fine, so I sat and waited. By about 3 p.m., I was a little confused. I started to wonder if he'd made it all up to mess with me. It really worried me honestly. Then I got a text from him asking if I was all good, and I said yeah, and asked if they were actually planning on calling today. He said they'd been trying for the last few hours. I blocked them both when I moved out west and forgotten. Why I didn't block him, I don't know. I'm thankful I didn't though. So I unblocked them both and got a call from my mom about 10 minutes later. First thing she said was I sounded different. I almost hung up right then. Took all I had to just say yeah. She broke down immediately after that. I really thought I'd feel more. I'd be lying if I said I felt nothing. But the pain of it all just took hold of me more than her words. She asked if I'd gotten her texts. I said no. I guess she'd been trying to text over the last year, but I had her number blocked. If she really wanted to reach me, she could have. Maybe that's a little crappy, but I know it's true. I pretty much told her that I'd be willing to build some semblance of a relationship back with time, and she was happy with that. She also told me she was getting all her necessities out of the house before my stepfather got home, and she'd be filing for divorce immediately. I believe her too. She may be a poor excuse for a mother in my eyes, but she's never been someone to take half measures. I really wish I could be there to see that prick's face when he comes back to an empty home. My ex got the phone next and did the same tearful apologies my mom did. I felt a little more with her. I actually tried to get her to think and remember how many times I told her I'd never do that to her and how much I loved her, and she was beside herself. And to be honest, I'm glad. We talked for about half an hour and I really thought it was pleasant. Even though I told myself for over a year now that it would never happen again, thought there could still be something to us. She told me she still had a ring and it's made me upset, and just told her to give it to my mom, cause it didn't belong to either of us anymore. I could tell that really crushed her, and selfishly I wanted it too. She asked if she could call/text me. I told her it's fine, but to not expect a prompt response either way, which she understood. Pretty much gave her the same ultimatum as my mom, though I said any chances of us having a future relationship were very slim, which she said she understood too. I talked to my brother last and thanked him for everything he'd done. He was helping my mom get her stuff out of his father's house, apologized for all that happened, and told me he was going to go tell the rest of the family everything as well. Them, I have no connection to and won't say a word to, I don't imagine. Except my stepdad's mother, oldest person in either of the families, and she wished me a happy birthday and Merry Christmas over the last year. Maybe she was old enough that she doesn't care. Maybe she felt bad, but I'll talk to her odd as it is. Sorry for all the rambling. I fly home for my uncle's 60th birthday the first week of March. It'll be my first time home since I moved out here. I'll definitely plan on seeing my brother as well. I'm not adverse to seeing my mom and ex, but I've made it clear to them that I've got a lot of healing to do and so do they. If anything further happens, I'll update again. Maybe after the trip home, but that looks like it for the time being. Also, this is kinda the last social media I have. I haven't been on here super often in the last year for the reasons I'm sure you could guess. I truly haven't seen any similar stories to mine that have been referenced in the comments, though I'd like to if you can find them. Thank you, everyone. Second update. I got a call from a number back home. I deleted most of my numbers a while ago from anyone I wasn't talking with. I picked up and it was my stepfather. He said hello and I hung up, then blocked the number. I immediately called my mom, fiancé, and brother. They're all safe and not around him. Mom is in a hotel that he doesn't know about. Fiancé and brother are at their own residences, and both say they feel adequately protected. He is not by any indication a violent man, but better safe than sorry. My brother said he got a call from him this morning when he got home after my mom wasn't there and wouldn't answer. Brother just told him what happened and not to contact any of them. Not sure how long he sat there, but he called me around 3 p.m. Pacific. Then about an hour ago, I got a message from a different number saying we need to talk. I assume that's him, and I haven't responded. That's the latest. Third update. Stepdad's mother called me. Had her number saved because of what I previously stated. Was a bit worried it may have been him trying to gather some info or something. It wasn't. She's a very sweet lady who did not have to be nice to me in any way, but has shown me compassion. She was very nice and wished me well while also apologizing on behalf of the family. I thanked her and wished her the best too. Shocking it came from that woman. Update. Am I the a-hole for not telling my coworker my brother was dead and catching her in a terrible lie? Original post. I, 22 female, am a triplet with 2 brothers, but one of my brothers passed away when we were 14. Whenever anyone new asks if I have any siblings, I just say I'm a triplet with 2 brothers. I'm not trying to trauma dump when doing small talk with someone I'm not very close to. From talking to people in grief support, I thought this was relatively common. I started working at a new job 3 months ago. I like my coworkers, but still feel like an outsider to them. So when they ask how many siblings I have, I gave the above answer. No problems there. 1 week I didn't have my car, so my other triplet brother picked me up every day. My coworker Kate saw him and thought he was cute, and asked me to set them up. I said no, because he has a girlfriend. She asked about my other brother, and I just said he isn't available either. Not a lie, but I guess kind of a mission, because he's deceased and not just in a relationship. A few weeks later, I hear Kate talking crap about me to the other coworkers our age when I'm in the same lunchroom. She didn't believe that my other brother wasn't available because she saw that he's single on Insta. I have no clue what she's talking about because he never had an account. My best guess is that she assumed one of my male cousins who shares our last name and is in pics with me and my brother was actually the 3rd triplet. Who knows? I never engaged with the whispers because I hate confrontation. A day after that, some of my coworkers come up to me and ask what's wrong with me. I was super confused. Then they told me that my brother had SA allegations against him in college. And the real reason I didn't set him up with Kate is because I knew he was dangerous, but still supported him. Apparently, Kate said she found all this out from someone who also went to my college. I'm still in the same town. I was shocked and just told them that was impossible because my brother died when he was 14. They didn't believe me and then called Kate over and all 3 of them called me a liar. I showed them pictures of the funeral, pictures of us at his grave, my brother and I holding his picture at our graduations. Then they all piled on me, called me a liar for not saying my brother was dead. But Kate made up a horrific allegation for no reason? They're all icing me out and whispers are going around the office. I don't know what they are saying, but no one seems to understand my side. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. I talked about my brother the way I always have. The girls made me feel like I was such a horrible person and a liar who can't be trusted, and I don't understand. My family is all on my side, but they're all fiercely protective of me, and especially my deceased brother's memories, so it's biased. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments before reading the update. Not the a-hole. Kate is pure scum. If you believe in ghosts, maybe your late brother will come down and hunt her for defaming him and making you so miserable. Go to your manager, explain the situation, and let her know what she said about your late brother. That's defamation. What kind of person spreads such vicious lies? And what happens if your brother had still been around, and she told everybody that he had assaulted somebody? There is a special place in hell for people like her. What kind of person looks at photos of kids at a funeral and calls the person a liar? This practice is unhinged, and the manager needs to crack down immediately. I would make a complaint with your manager/HR about Kate making false rumors about your family and forcing you to discuss your grief. Freaking hell, even if he wasn't deceased, may he rest in peace, I'd not want Kate anywhere near me/my family. It's completely up to you and your story to explain, but maybe next time you could word it different to he's not available. But she definitely crazy. Thank you for that. I work at a small private medical clinic, so we don't have any formal HR. But I'm hoping our admin manager will suffice. I'll see if I can think of any alternate wording that I could use if the question comes up again. Complain about the others as well. Drop the phrase hostile work environment if you have to. As an HR professional, magic words right there. Throw in a don't feel safe and then send an update. Now for the update. My one and only update. Skip the next 3 paragraphs if you only want the update. I just want to address the way I talk about my brother since there are so many mixed opinions. I can never ever talk about my brother like he never existed. To me, that's so disrespectful to his memory. I think you won't understand unless you're in these shoes. If you are and speak about your loved one differently, that's fine. My brothers and I did everything together. We were born and raised as a set of 3. We wore matching outfits and went to the same schools. We immigrated to the US together. We celebrated every birthday and major milestone together. When he died, a part of me died too. I haven't enjoyed my birthday since because instead of being happy I'm older, I just think about how he can't celebrate his own day. No life circumstances changed the fact we were born as triplets. I could never say I have only one brother because to me that's not true. My other brother and parents speak the same way. A lot of people in my grief support group do too. No one has ever gotten upset at me and have been very understanding about it. However, people have been weird when I used to say he was dead up front soon after his death, which is why I switched in the first place. Which is why I was so stunned Kate blew up at me. But I think I might consider being more blunt. I guess someone's gonna be mad or weird about it no matter how I say. Now for the update. So I was too chicken to talk in person to my administration manager right away after this post and all of the help. I emailed her when I left for work Monday, and she was still there for another 2 hours and asked to talk in person today before a clinic started. Work was definitely weird, but I just avoided Kate and those girls, and got help from other staff when needed. I talked early today to my manager after she read my email, and she was horrified. Apologized to me again and again, and told me all 3 would be dealt with. But seems like she was most angry at Kate. She didn't guarantee exactly anything would happen because she still has to do an investigation and get everyone's sides. But I think they will definitely be punished some way. I don't know if that's getting fired or suspension or just scolded. But that made me happier. I think I should clarify my coworkers other than those 3. Haven't been icing me out, just whispering because they know something happened between us. But I like them and they're very nice to me. I didn't talk to them about it since I took it up higher, but I hope they understand me. I'm not sure if I'm staying at this office. Depends on what happens to the 3 girls in the next weeks. But I probably won't update again. I know a lot of people wanted me to take legal action, but I really don't want to rock the boat too much. I'm applying to medical school right now and hope to start in fall 2025. So I just want this behind me fast and not have any court stuff on my record for now. If it gets too bad, I'd rather just leave and enjoy my last year of freedom. That's pretty much all that happened. I wanted to thank you all so much for all of the kind words these past days. I was going through confusion, and your comments made me angrier towards Kate and made me take action. You are so sweet and helped me through a tough time. I think I'll be okay. Kate made up false assault allegations because she couldn't bang your brother who she didn't know anything about. What a freaking psycho. Dude, Kate is deranged. I'm so very sorry this happened to you, and I get the not mentioning your brother died in casual conversations. I'm glad your boss is taking this seriously. If Kate was my employee, I'd fire her if it was feasible, legally, procedure compliant, etc. It speaks to a mind I do not trust to make sound decisions, and I don't micromanage, so F that. Messy colleagues always suck. Keep your workspace and mouth from being gross, Kate. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not making him food after his work wife kept making him food? Me, female 27, and my husband, male 34, have been married for 3 years, but were dating 4 years prior. He recently got a promotion in his company and moved to a different department. In this department, he recently started interacting with female 24. I disliked her and have from the start. Every time I'm there, she makes sure to call him her work husband, or she will do simple things such as making him food or giving him extra tight hugs. But my breaking point was last week when he had come home with the food I made him. When I asked him why his lunch bag was still full of what I had made him in the morning, he said that female 24 had made him food, and he didn't want to seem rude and waste it. So I ignored it, till he threw away the food I made him. I woke up at 6 a.m. just to make him his favorite food, but ever since then, this has been happening every day. It started to get annoying. Till today, I decided to not make him lunch. He came downstairs in the morning to me making breakfast and asked me where his lunch was. I said I didn't make him one because it was going to go to waste anyways. He started arguing that I was being petty over a little thing, but I tried to discuss how I felt and he went over it. So am I the a-hole for not making him food? Now for the comments before the mini update. Your husband is an idiot. He's absorbing the attention from a young female coworker and snubbing his wife. You are a rarity in today's world. My wife has prepared my lunches for the past 26 years, not out of duty or coercion, but out of love. I would be damned if I would worry about another person's feelings, let alone a female at the sacrifice of my wife. It's not about the food, it's a labor of love. I hope for both of your sakes he gets his head out of his behind before it's too late. This isn't just about food. This is about work wife. Her hugging him, her making him lunch and bringing it for him from her home. She's trying to seduce him and is allowing it. Totally agree with this. Coworker is seducing him. Tell it to him if he is oblivious to it and make your unhappiness known. He's going to a fair territory. Not a-hole. The food isn't the issue here, clearly. There are so many Reddit stories that started with a work wife providing OP's ex-husband with food. There was even one where the work wife told the pregnant wife that the husband liked her cooking better, so she'd better watch out or she'd be taking her husband. That wife ended up having to co-parent with her ex-husband and work wife he ended up marrying. I think in plain words, you need to tell your husband that you don't want him interacting with her at all unless it's required for business, and only as minimum as necessary. Her behavior from consistently cooking for him to calling him her work husband and giving him tight hugs are extremely inappropriate. He should not be more worried about hurting a coworker's feelings than disrespecting his marriage. He didn't want to hurt her feelings by not eating her food, but he has no issue with throwing his own wife's food away in front of you? His coworker's behavior is a direct threat to his marriage, and it is his responsibility to set and enforce the boundaries to protect said marriage. Your husband is an idiot, and opening himself up to complaints if he has any sort of seniority and makes preferential decisions regarding his friend. It doesn't take much effort for those around them to extrapolate extra tight hugs into their having an affair via office gossip. He shouldn't be allowing her to hug him, full stop, and he needs to tell her to not make him food. They are definitely going to be the talk of the department. I'd bet they already are. Mini update. Me and him are going to talk when he gets back home. But I did talk to him a little bit before he went to the shower. He just got mad when I asked if I could see his text between her, which ended in him getting defensive and saying that if I trust him, I wouldn't need to. I may bring up the option of divorce, but I need to figure out the financial situation first. I have a job, but it barely even pays. But until then, I'ma start packing up my stuff little by little, talking to a divorce attorney and figuring out where to go from there. But I won't till me and him have a talk. But thank you to everyone who has let me open up on this a little bit. Last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my coworker I can't attend her funeral because I'm busy that day? So here's the situation. I have this coworker. Let's call her Karen. Karen is a character. She's always talking about these elaborate plans for every possible scenario. Last week, she told us she had pre-planned her entire funeral, complete with a guest list, catering, and even a DJ. Apparently, she wants her final send-off to be a lit celebration of life. Anyway, out of the blue yesterday, Karen walks up to me during lunch and says, "Hey, just so you know, I've penciled you in for my funeral next Saturday at 2 p.m. It's going to be fabulous, and I'd really appreciate your attendance." Now here's the thing. I'm alive and kicking, so the idea of attending a funeral for someone who's very much alive just felt weird. Plus, I already have plans next Saturday to binge watch an entire season of Stranger Things and eat my weight in pizza. So without really thinking, I just blurted out, "Sorry, Karen, I can't make it. I'm busy that day." She looked at me like I just slapped her with a cold fish. "Busy?" she asked, her voice dripping with disbelief. "You can't be too busy for a friend's funeral." Now, Karen has been giving me the cold shoulder ever since, and our other coworkers are split. Some think I'm a heartless jerk for not going along with her bizarre funeral dress rehearsal, while others think she's completely off her rocker for expecting people to actually attend this thing. So Reddit, am I the a-hole for telling my very much alive coworker I can't attend her self-planned, preemptive funeral because I'm busy watching Netflix? Edit, for those asking about her well-being, she's fine. I've overheard somebody asking her and she replied that it's just a celebration of life. So yes, it seems to be a narcissistic event. Not a-hole. Asking people to attend a funeral when you're alive, and while it is not completely ludicrous, but also could be upsetting for people who have actually lost someone, especially recently, since she's kind of making a joke out of funerals. I agree with the people that think she's off her rocker. Right? I find it really upsetting. I just lost an old friend who didn't even make it to her living funeral/celebration of life. We were planning to give it to her the opportunity to see the people she wanted to see all at once, giving her precious time travel with her partner before entering hospice. But the pain came so quickly, the meds just swallowed her up, and the person we knew never resurfaced. She died 10 months after her initial pancreatic cancer diagnosis, about a week before her birthday and her celebration. She was an amazing human being, a relentless force of equity, education, and social justice. It's maddeningly unfair that she's gone, and I'm still heartbroken that I didn't get to say goodbye to her. Having a living funeral is a sacred thing, a rare and incredible opportunity. And though I wish it was more common to have celebrations, for our elderly while they're here, for our friends and loved ones going round after round with leukemia, I don't think it should be trivialized by someone who is healthy, young, and able-bodied. This whole scenario makes me really angry, the more I think about it actually. Let's call it what it really is. It's a party for a narcissist. You have no obligation to attend and shouldn't feel pressured by anyone into doing something you don't want to do. I always hold the opinion that work colleagues are just that, colleagues. They're not friends, and I don't socialize with them. If you feel pressured/harassed on this issue, I suggest you speak to your boss or the HR dept. Well, I mean, it's just a weird situation. There are a few other people that are fond of this woman and will do these kinds of things for her. I couldn't care less, and I refuse to entertain that kind of behavior. But of course, I work there and I don't want to make enemies or be on bad terms with anybody. It's a weird one. I didn't expect anybody to think it's okay to put people on these kinds of situations, to be honest. If you're not being paid to attend his party, you have absolutely no obligation to go. It's very weird behavior. I know, of course. It's just the way she handled the whole thing made me feel like I was doing something wrong. Imagine being paid for that. It would even be more weird. Funeral rehearsal. Does it include burial or cremation? Just curious. Oh, and not a-hole. I would go all in on believing that she is gleefully going to end it all before the party and give her the number of a helpline, then be horrified when she advises that she's just doing this highly inappropriate thing for fun. Or turn up and scream in horror that she escaped the casket and must be a zombie. call a newspaper, and tip them off that the Sikfo funeral is taking place and she may become a laughingstock. Update. Am I the a-hole for telling my fiancé to not share a letter my ex-wife sent to me on social media? Original post. My ex-wife, 34 female, sent an email to me, 34 male, pleading me not to marry my fiancé, 27 female. My fiancé wants to share the letter on her social media to expose my ex-wife, but I feel she should be the bigger person and ignore her. My ex-wife Lily and I started dating in college and were together for almost 10 years, married for 4. I thought we had a perfect relationship. However, around 6 years ago, Lily sat me down and told me she was feeling unhappy with our marriage and felt like she missed out on a lot of fun things in life because we got married early and spent all our efforts in our career and finances. We are both lawyers and spent a lot of time in our law school, bar exam, etc., and got really high-paying jobs. She felt that she never got to live an independent life and find herself. I was heartbroken, as I did not know a life without her. We went through a lot of stress during our marriage and could see her side. We split amicably and got a divorce soon, as we did not have any assets or kids to worry about. Everything went okay for the first few months. However, Lily started getting panic attacks and went into depression after she started living alone. I still cared about her and helped her during that time. She was also diagnosed with BPD and has been in therapy since. We stayed friends as the transition was difficult for both of us. However, I tried to move on from her by going on dates. Lily and I stayed good friends for almost a year after our divorce. She asked me a few times if we should try to work on our marriage, but I had moved on, told her we are better off as friends than as a couple. I met Mila at our running club and we really hit it off. Mila was much younger than me, but really matched my energy and we started dating seriously soon after. Mila expressed that she found it uncomfortable that Lily was still such a big part of my life. I also felt I wanted to invest all my energy in relationship with Mila, and I told Lily that I would be distancing myself from her. Lily reluctantly agreed, and we stopped texting each other daily and only met on social occasions such as weddings or parties, as we both share the same group of friends. Lily and Mila never got along, but Mila tolerated Lily for me. Mila and I have been dating for 3 years, and I proposed to her during summer holidays last year when we visited her parents' house. We have been busy planning our wedding and plan to get married in September. Everything was going really well until last week. I received an email from Lily last week pleading me to not marry Mila. It was a long email talking about how we are soulmates and meant to be together. It was extremely delusional and talked about how I was just punishing her by being in a relationship with Mila, and she has learned her lesson and I should take her back now. It talked about how I would be abandoning her after I promised her that I would take care of her in sickness and in health for her entire life, and my new marriage vows will be meaningless since I promised all those things to her. I immediately told Mila about this and told her that Lily has crossed the line, and I would not only block her everywhere, but make sure I go no contact with her. Mila was very upset too, and started cursing out Lily and how she is planning to ruin her special day. Mila told me that she wants a screenshot of the email and sent it to my parents. They of course supported Mila and told her that Lily has to be cut off forever from our lives, and I agreed. Mila wants to share the email on her Instagram and Facebook so that all our friends would also see Lily's behavior, so that they all block her as well and never invite her to any events. This is where I do not agree with Mila. I know that Lily is not mentally well and has been depressed again since we announced our engagement. Lily has tried to reach out to me through my friends, but I had not given her a chance to speak to me alone. I feel bad for Lily, and I feel Mila sharing the post would only extend the drama. I also worry that my friends know about Lily's mental condition, and it would feel petty to hurt her while I am moving on and marrying an amazing person in Mila. I have told Mila about all this and she feels that I am still trying to protect Lily when she tried to hurt Mila by sending that email. I am not sure what to do at this point. Am I the a-hole to ask Mila to not share the email on social media for everyone to see Lily's private email to me? Is Mila right that Lily deserves all the hurt she would get after she makes the email public? Now for the top comments before reading the update. I'm a pretty big advocate for no contact after a breakup for this reason. I think that her reaction to being without you was delayed because she never truly understood what it was like without you in her life. You guys texted every day? Especially given her BPD diagnosis, it sounds like a dream to be able to keep you at a distance yet still close enough. Many folks with BPD have disorganized attachment styles like this. Given the circumstances, I do think you did pretty good at abiding by your fiancé's preferences when she did express discomfort, which was valid, at the proximity of Lily. But I don't think your fiancé should be posting this on her social media. How immature and mean. She can show it to whoever she wants directly, I suppose, but it sounds to me like she wants to completely ruin Lily's reputation with people who aren't close enough with her to simply text them out of the blue with the screenshots. I would be embarrassed if my partner was publicly being a mean girl. I'm gonna go with not the a-hole, but by no means is everyone innocent. Yes, Lily and I have had that conversation in the past. She feels that I should have not let her leave me because she was not in the right state of mind. However, what was I supposed to do? I just did not want to be with someone who did not want to be with me. I actually feel for you. My ex is bipolar and he demanded a divorce. But because I was the one who physically left the house, he has since rewritten it in his mind as I left him. Now that I am in a steady and healthy relationship, I have been told that I shouldn't have left. I was supposed to fight for him. But what was I supposed to do? Fight him for him? How does that work? My friend's ex-wife is bipolar. She definitely left him, but now tells everyone that he left when I was sick. You can't force people to stay in a relationship with you. Nor can you force them to see the truth when they are committed to remaining blind. Now for the update. I wanted to write a quick update on my post from last week. Thanks everyone for so many insightful comments, and it really helped me think through the issue. I had a long discussion with Mila over the weekend. I know it was hard on her too, and I am sure I would also be angry if the shoe was on the other foot. I told her I understand her frustration and asked her to tell me what is going on in her mind. She told me that it bothered her that I reacted so calmly to this situation, when I should be very angry at Lily and gone nuclear. According to her, Lily has been acting horribly towards her ever since we got engaged, and is now actively trying to break us up, and I am treating her with kid gloves because of her mental condition. She said that she feels bad for Lily, but what Lily is asking me was to destroy Mila's life and hoping to take her back. According to her, Lily has a successful career and well enough to function in every other aspect of her life except when it comes to me. So even though she has a mental illness, it cannot be as bad as everyone makes it out to be. I thought about it and told Mila that the main reason why I did not react drastically to the email was because after all these years, Lily is nothing more than a stranger to me. I have barely had a meaningful conversation with her for the last 4 years and never really wanted to learn anything about how she is doing. It's true that we once shared a bond, but I have just moved on and have no time for her drama. My mind is filled with all the happy thoughts about our wedding, and I did not want to give importance to a letter from someone who has no place in my life anymore. I again brought up the topic of Mila posting the letter on Instagram to get back at Lily. I told her why I feel it is a very bad idea, and it would just give Lily fodder to continue the drama. Mila told me that she never really intended to post the letter online, and it was originally my mother's idea as she really hates Lily for what she did to me. She said that she cannot be as patient as me and is really mad at Lily. She cannot shake the feeling that Lily might do something awful during the wedding day, and Mila is anxious about it. I told Mila that her well-being is my main concern, and we should talk about the letter to at least some of my close friends so that they can keep an eye on Lily. I called 3 of my friends, who are mutual friends with Lily, the next day, and told them about the letter and also our concerns about Lily. All of them confirmed that Lily has not been doing well recently and had many BPD episodes. She had called them for help regarding that, and Lily's mom is currently staying with her to help her through the issues. None of them were surprised, as Lily has been repeating to them that I'm only dating Mila to punish her, and she feels she has suffered enough for her mistakes in her past that I should take her back now as we are even. She has also said some scary stuff regarding Mila, and how Mila is stealing me from her and she is in a fight of her life. They also told me that she has been following every post Mila makes on social media using fake accounts. All of them tried to dissuade her from contacting me, but I guess the email was the final straw. I wish they would have told me sooner, but I can understand they wanted to protect Lily's privacy. I ask all my friends to please keep me informed if Lily said or planned something I need to know. I feel I was underreacting to the email, but now I am really worried about it. I talked to Mila, and we decided we should reply to Lily's email and calmly tell her to F off. We wrote her an email yesterday and put down our thoughts. I wrote to Lily that I understand that the news about Mila and me was difficult for her. I wrote that my decision to get married to Mila is important to me, and we are starting a new chapter in our lives. I have forgiven her for any issues that happened between us in the past, and I hope that she also remembers our time together fondly and moves on to better things in life. I told her that I hope she finds a lot of support in friends, family, and therapy, but we will take a break from conversation now, and it would be best for both of us to move forward and find our own paths of happiness. I also wrote that this is my last email to her and to not contact us again in the future. We are still worried about Lily, and hopefully the email tells her that I am not punishing her and just want to move on with my life. We are also worried if she might show up to the wedding, as BPD can be unpredictable, and have decided to hire security for the wedding. Currently, Mila seems to be in a good place after we wrote the letter together. I want Mila to understand that she is the most important person to me, and no letters from Lily can shake my feelings for her. I really don't know what the right thing was to do here is. It was not ideal for this to happen so close to the wedding date, but hopefully things calm down and Lily gets support she needs. Again, thanks for all the help from the community. I really appreciate it, and any further advice is also appreciated. This is probably not over if she has been saying those types of things to your friends. Definitely hire security at the wedding, making sure everyone has her picture. And I would add additional security measures at home as well. Lily sounds very unstable and will likely spiral further as the wedding approaches. I'm glad Mila is in a better place. It's always helpful when people communicate as adults. I hope it does not come to that, but I am going to take every precaution before and during the wedding day. I have a feeling that Lily will appear on a future episode of Snapped. Defend your spouse. Until she meets someone else, she will be obsessed with her and exist vicariously through Mila's posts. For her own protection, Mila ought to set all of her accounts to private. I doubt the drama with Lily is over, but I'm glad that you and Mila seem to have come together, and you've reassured her and made sure your focus is on your pending marriage and preserving your relationship. I also think the email to Lily was a smart move. Keep your eyes and ears open for further drama. If you haven't already, hire security for the wedding just in case. I was advised that replying to the email would be the right thing to do. I was told to be as calm and as precise as possible, to tell Lily that it is over and to not keep any hopes for the future. I was also told to tell her that I am not punishing her. I hope the email helps her get closure and move on with her life. Please understand, your ex has BPD, which is a personality disorder. This cannot be treated by medication, only years of intense therapy. It isn't going to disappear with a calm email. She will be convinced Mila made you write it. She isn't going to remember your time together fondly and move on. It's not possible for someone with BPD. I'm sorry, my friend. You need to take precautions. Last story. My husband went on a last date with his ex a week before we got married to make sure. His ex was always the one who got away according to everyone around him. He ended things because he didn't see a future with her, but everyone around him was shocked because she's so good and beautiful. Then we met and I soon understood that everyone from his side preferred her. I even heard some call me the Camilla, although I am neither much older nor less attractive, in my opinion. I love how I look, even if I don't tick all of the beauty boxes, like tall, blonde, blue eyes, etc. like his ex. He never gave me any reason to doubt him, however. He gave me the impression that he knew exactly what he wanted, was secure enough in his heart that he told me he loved me a few months into our relationship. And I never felt like he was lying or that I wasn't enough. He is fully aware of what people think about him leaving his ex, and he gave the impression that he thought they were silly and childish. He told his mom that I am who he chose, and if she wanted a part of it, she needed to clean up her act. We got married 3 years ago, and only now I found out that he went on a date with his ex a few days before our wedding. He wanted to know for sure that she wasn't like everyone around him thought, the one who got away. He wanted to make 100% sure. His mom told me gleefully when she visited our new baby, and she looked at my daughter and said she wondered what would have happened if he changed his mind after that date. And she was visiting their baby now, my husband and the one who got away, with a sigh but gleefully, you know what I mean. I haven't spoken to him for a week. And I hate silent treatment, but I just can't talk to him. It isn't something I'm doing to punish him, or manipulate him, or get the upper hand and control him. I just can't look at him or talk to him. Am I the a-hole for this silent treatment? Edit. He was there when it happened. He told his mom to shut up. Then he admitted he went on the date and admitted the reason his mom told me was the truth. Now for the top comments. Your husband is an a-hole, but your mother-in-law loathes you. To think she held onto this information until you were happy with a new baby, totally vulnerable, and then decided to drop this. That is calculated evil. It sounded more like his spur of the moment at first, but maybe you're right. Not sure anymore. No, she sat on that for years. It didn't just pop into her head. She was waiting for the perfect moment. That's evil. Yep, and it had exactly the effect she intended it to. Drove a nice big wedge in your relationship, because now in your head, it becomes what else has your husband admitted telling you. Here's something to consider. Did his last checking to be sure he made the right choice date includes or no? Ask it and any other questions you need answered. If you don't trust yourself to talk to him about it, make a document with your questions and ask him to provide you with the true answers. Because here's my thought. His mommy knew he was on that date, and quite sure she talked to the ex afterwards. So if they had sex, mommy knows. If she's gonna drop that little bomb in the future, your husband needs to own it now. He also should answer if he's been in contact with her since you married. He owes you answers to any and all questions, because his actions caused the situation. If needed, OP, please find a good therapist to work through this with. As to your mother-in-law, I think it would be reasonable that she is no longer welcome in your home. If your husband wants to see her, he can go to her place. Oh, and she gets a nice long time out from having anything to do with your daughter with you determining the length. Because a woman that nasty can't be trusted to not say whatever she likes that hurts you by hurting your child. Did he also sleep with her just to make sure? Did he try having a kid with her too just to make sure? WTF? What kind of stupidity am I reading lately here? Your husband is the a-hole, and your mother-in-law is a close second. I can't believe he did that and he actually told people. He says he didn't sleep with her. Geez, that's big of him. I know, right? Do you believe him? I don't know. I asked him and he adamantly denied it, but he confessed everything else. I truly believe that if he did, his mother would have made sure I knew to get rid of me. So this is why I don't know. Her not rubbing it in my face is my truth.